What is up? Welcome back to Seer Recaps. And today I'm going to talk about Bronny James. With Summer League wrapping up, I think we can evaluate Bronny James's performance from what we can see of him so far. And all I can say is, like, at the beginning, I was going to give him a lot more flack for his performance, but he did play better in his last two games of Summer League. But I don't think this will, like, these past performances are enough for him to be immune from criticism, because I feel like he still has a lot to prove, and I feel like he hasn't really been exactly up to the standard that the hype around him is. And I feel like it's not his fault. It's more about his father and his father's agent, funny enough, because we all know the reason why he got drafted by the Lakers is because of Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, threatening teams to not draft him because of, he might play in different countries. I think it was supposed to be in Australia, because he kept calling teams, if any other team that isn't the Lakers drafted Bronny, he would not play for them for this upcoming season, which is ridiculous, especially the type of player he is. Already getting the treatment that his father already gets is insane to me for a player that isn't good enough to really get this type of treatment. I get he's LeBron's son, and I know people might be frustrated about that. I'm personally frustrated by it, but again, he should be, up for criticism like any other NBA player, because I feel like the people giving him a lot of credit for a player that he has shown like moments here and there, but not consistent enough, in my opinion, to get the type of respect that I think his family wants him to get. And it's kind of weird to me. I feel like Bronny is a very talented player, but he doesn't have enough consistency as a player from what I've seen so far of him from college and in the Summer League. The first two games were horrendous and really concerns me. Maybe he was, and it really concerned me, because maybe he is, maybe he was nervous in the first two games. Fair enough, understandable. But even in the two games he played well in, he did look good out there. But I do need to see more of it. It's just two games. I don't know. It's hard to tell if he's even gonna make the roster. I think he make the roster for the Lakers. I feel like he might make the roster. It's just the issue is that how effective is he going to be on the floor? Because the Lakers already have guards that I can say for sure are not the best, like a Gabe Vincent and a D'Angelo Russell, but I feel like he is maybe better defensively than those guys, which I don't even think that's the case, because even defensively he is decent and he gives effort on the defensive end. It's just offensively, I don't know what his game is. Is he a point guard that is a driver? Like he is like a guy that drives in the paint, kind of like what maybe like a younger Jimmy Butler, but unlike Jimmy Butler, Bronny is not as tall as him, and I think he has the strength, but the issue is that his height is going to be a big issue in the NBA. His athleticism is good. Maybe I was also thinking he could be like a 6'1" slasher on offense, but the thing is that for a slasher, most slashers in the NBA are like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". He is only 6'1", so most likely he's just gonna be like a pass first point guard, which could be really good for the Lakers. But maybe it might be something else. Maybe we might see some cool highlights with him and his dad, but that's really all I can really see with him right now. Offensively, I think he needs to find more of a, like, what is his shot? What is his go-to shot? Because I feel like in the first two games he struggled at finding that, and I feel like that might be a big negative for him in the NBA, because when he's struggling, he needs to find ways to be effective on the floor, because I feel like he was always a negative. When he's bad, he's always like, he is unplayable, and I think JJ Redick's gonna have some issues with him every time he struggles. I think another issue with Bronny isn't really his fault, is more about the hype around him. I mentioned that before, but I'll add onto it right now. For sure, I think Bronny has too much hype for a player that is not even as good as players that are probably not going to make a roster in the Summer League. That's my thing. He did have good, he had a good presence on the floor, and he had like 13 points in both games. some, maybe a few assists, a few rebounds, but it wasn't statistically not enough in comparison to other players in the summer league that may not even make the roster. They're most likely going to be in the G League next year, and I feel like his numbers are not good enough even in the games he played well. I don't think they are definitely, and again, definitely not good enough to be in the NBA. Call me a hater on him, but it's true though. Like the numbers he put up even in his good games are not good enough in comparison to players that are not making the league next year. Especially players at his height and position. Like, it's just not. There's way better players than him, and I feel like even though Rich Paul threatened other teams, I feel like no team wanted to get him except for the Lakers. Which I don't get why they wasted that 55th pick on him, but hey, man, because I feel like no one was going to draft him regardless. Unless they wanted to, unless someone was so petty and had, something against LeBron to draft Bronny. Like, if, maybe, a team like the Raptors would have drafted Bronny because they had a pick after, or, I think the Knicks had a pick after, too. Like, that'd be kind of funny if they got Bronny instead of the Lakers. But most likely no team wanted him because there's only 60 picks in the NBA draft, unlike other leagues where there's, 10 rounds or 7 rounds or whatever. The NBA only has 60 picks, and then everyone else goes undrafted, or they wait till next year and play another year in college, which is something I feel like Bronny should have done, because I feel like the issue right now for Bronny is that he doesn't have a specific specialty, because he's definitely not an all-around player, but he's not in comparison to probably his teammates and other people he played with. It's definitely not the same level. And I get it, he's LeBron's son, but we still got to treat him like another NBA player, because he is another NBA player, technically. And I'm also going to blame the whole hype around him is ESPN. I think I was watching a broadcast, and it really frustrated me. They were focusing the camera on him like he was the leading scorer in the game, like he was the best player on the team. And he isn't even the best player on the team in Summer League. If he just dominated Summer League, average 20 and 10, or maybe he didn't average 20 and 10, maybe he averaged a double-double, maybe 10 points, 10 assists, average that type of stat line in the Summer League, I'd be like, okay, he has some sort of talent here. Maybe he had some great defensive plays, and he's a good two-way player, he's a good passer, he's a good defender, okay, but he didn't really show that enough consistently, and it wasn't enough for him to really get that respect from me, and I think a lot of people still. As much as I respect the way he looked in the last 2 games of Summer League, I just don't think it's enough for me to get the full respect that I think people want me to give him. And I know it's messed up to really hate on the kid. I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm just trying to say how I feel about it. And I also feel like it's weird that they're really focusing the camera on him in ESPN games, and I just don't think it's fair to him. And also it's just weird on the Lakers end, just saying, JJ Redick, the coach of the Lakers, said this wasn't given, it was earned. Well, it's ridiculous and wrong. He's great, JJ Redick's a great, basketball mind, but that was just low on his end. Very disappointing to see that from JJ. Yeah, it is what it is with that. On the Lakers end, it's kind of it's embarrassing if he plays badly, because you wasted a draft pick on him, because the Lakers practically chose some kid with a 6% chance of being a rotation player in the NBA. But the hype around him is just because of him being LeBron's son, and we as NBA fans really have to support that. We don't have to. That's just the situation we're in, and we just have to, really, evaluate him and treat him like any other NBA player, and give him the same criticism that we would give to just just some guy that came from college and has parents that aren't LeBron James. So yeah. And, but to be honest, his stats have been decent lately. But, if Bob Smith, some random guy from college, or from a different country, did the same exact thing, no one would care. And, and we only care because, he is LeBron's son, and he has so much hype and all that stuff. And I understand that, but yeah, again, the 13 points in both games he put up in the last 2 games of the Summer League is, it was nice seeing him play well, but it still wasn't enough for me to really give him the respect that I would give to other players in the summer league because again, there are players that are going to the G League next season or this upcoming season, and probably maybe the season after that. Maybe they play in like a different country because it's hard to get in the NBA because there's not that many roster spots. And this guy gets guaranteed a contract for $8 million for the next 4 years, giving him like the money that a first round pick would get. And I understand people were putting up numbers that other second round picks got, and I'm like, maybe they were more highly touted prospects that didn't really pan out maybe in college, but they were like more popular in high school, like Imani Bates I was thinking about. But those players showed more promise in college and in high school. And Bronny was decent in high school, but even I think when he was sent to the McDonald's All-American game, people were still putting that in question. So I think he has a lot to improve. Most likely he's going to be in the G League kind of going back and forth because I feel like he might have stretches during his first season as a rookie, first season in the NBA. I feel like he's going to have a lot of moments of like really bad games, and I feel like he might have a stretch. He might be like a streaky player. There might be games he comes on the floor and you might be questioning, why is he even here? Why is he even around? Type of stuff happening, and I feel like that's gonna happen a lot this season for Laker fans. And there are gonna be moments where he's like, wow, this guy's amazing. Like this guy, he deserves to be on the roster, and it's gonna be like a roller coaster. I feel like for Laker fans. All right. I'm Jalen, and this has been CF Recaps.